Hi guys, it's your girl Avena Prince. Welcome to another RGI Easy Sewings session, and today we're going to do a little shifting. We've been talking all about how to make your garments or your sewing projects look better, but today we want to talk about you. One thing that concerns most of us, especially women, is how we look. We like to feel comfortable in what we wear, and we like to know that we look good when we put our garments on. We like to wear clothes that flatter, clothes that will maybe turn a head or two, clothes that you feel confident in. And one thing that contributes greatly to that is knowing what is the right type of clothing to wear for your body shape. Now, sometimes you walk into the store and you see something on the mannequin and you automatically want that because it looks good on the mannequin. But then you get home and it doesn't exactly fit you how it fitted the mannequin. That's why today we're beginning our series on body shapes. So, let's chat. You may not be aware, but there are different body shapes. And while there are some body shapes that we all wish we had, the truth is we are not all shaped in the same way. So one thing that helps in selecting garments that flatter your figure, in selecting garments that you feel comfortable in, is knowing what body shape you are. Generally, there are 5 body shapes, but it all depends on what you read or what you take your information from. So these are basically the body shapes. So you can pause and look at them and see which one best looks like your own figure. Okay? Now in my picture, you will notice that the body shapes are really shapes, but they are called different names. So as we go through them, I will give you different names that are used to describe these body shapes. So the first shape we have right here to my right is the triangle. It's also referred to as pear shape as well as the upside down spoon. With this shape, the smallest area is the bust, which is generally perhaps a slightly smaller than the waist, but the largest part is the hip. So this shape here is the rectangle. And for this shape, generally from the shoulders go down to the hip, you're looking at one shape. It's also referred to as the column. Then you have breakdowns in this shape where you have the large column or the small column, or the large rectangle or the smaller rectangle. But generally, you're looking at similar measurements, perhaps 1 inch to 2 inches difference from the shoulder down to the hip. This shape is referred to as round or also referred to as an apple. And in this shape, you find that the top part and the hip are similar measurements, but you have a wider center or a wider waist. Now, I'm going to leave this shape for last, but let's go here to our inverted triangle. The inverted triangle is also referred to as the strawberry, and then with that shape, we're looking at a wide bust that gets smaller as we get down to the hip. This shape right here, which we left for last, is referred to as the hourglass as well as the figure 8. It is a well-balanced shape, meaning the bust area and the hip area are basically the same measurement with the waist being smaller. The next question is, how do you determine your own shape? So that is where measurements come into play. You'll remember that in the description for the various shapes, I mentioned that the top part is perhaps smaller, the waist is perhaps larger, and you're going to use your measurements to determine that. Sometimes it's very simple. You stand in front of your mirror and right away you can see exactly what shape you are. However, there are times when you need to actually take your measurements to determine what category or what shape you would fall into. Now, to do that, it's always best when you're taking measurements that you are wearing something fitted. So you're looking at a camisole and perhaps leggings or tights, or perhaps even your underwear, okay? And as you take those measurements, you're going to take your bust measurement around the fullest part of your bust. You're going to take your waist measurement 1 inch above your navel. You will find for most women that is the smallest part of the waist. And then you would measure your hip at the fullest part of your bum as well as the widest part of that area. So I'm going to use this dress form to show you just how to do that. Now you can take these measurements yourself if you are comfortable, or if you would prefer, you can have someone help you with the measurements. Also, remember that you should be wearing snug clothing while you are taking your body measurements. We're going to measure the bust, the waist, and the hip. So as you take this measurement, ensure that the measuring tape goes over your bust, basically over your nipple, and that it is at the same height at the back as it is at the front. Also, the measuring tape should not be squeezing your body in any area. So it should just be snug, not too tight, just comfortable around you. It should not be loose because you need an accurate and final measurement. So for my dress form, this measurement is 33 inches. Now we move down to the waist. And remember, as you look at the waist, you're looking at the area 1 inch above your navel. Always check your measuring tape and make sure it's at the same length at both the back and the front. So again, here we are 1 inch above our navel. So for our dress form, we have 33 inches for our bust and 25 inches for the waist. We then move to the hip. And here we have, again, we're looking at the fullest part of your bum, and that would be your hip measurement. And here we have 36. Okay, so these are the measurements. Now concerning how you dress your particular shape and what clothes will flatter your figure, we will talk about those in subsequent videos. However, a few things you want to note straight off the bat is how you work with patterns as well as how you work with colors. Patterns and colors have the tendency to draw the eyes to particular areas or cause the eyes to ignore particular areas. So you want to make sure that as you wear these things, that they enhance the parts of the body that will cause you to look balanced, as well as the parts of the body that you are comfortable with. So as we continue with this series, we will talk more about this thing. We will talk in particular of the various shapes and how they are affected by these things, and different elements of design that you can use to enhance your shape, enhance your figure, and thus make you feel more confident in the clothes that you wear. So guys, stay on with us, follow us through this series, and I'm sure you noticed that as we spoke about the different shapes, we had photos of some of your favorite celebrities, I'm sure, and what shape category that they fall into. So feel free to talk about your celebrities below and what shape that you think they fall into, and as we see your comments in our subsequent videos, we will talk about that. So I hope that what we spoke about is something that is helpful to you and something that you enjoyed. As we continue with this series, if you want to know as soon as we drop videos concerning this, ensure that you like, subscribe, and that you keep abreast with our channel. So thank you for tuning in. Talk to you soon.